Well, for once, we're all matching. PWC gear. Get on the MM store now.
Kevin Owens.
Yeah.
Yes, and the next.
Yes, that's what I was getting to.
I watched the entire thing.
Wait, is that a legitimate injury or is it just?
I just saw something on What Culture before we came on. It looks like it's legit. It looks like it's legit. And if you think about it, that bump that he took on the ladder from Cody, that's on his neck.
Oh, by the way, yes. By the way, I'm calling that one as bump of the year.
Yeah.
Damn.
Because I don't think anybody would want to take a bump like that, especially from what Cody Rhodes did with power bombing him from the table through the ladder. That was something. If you actually look at it from different angles, that was something else. So that's what I'm saying. Even it happened when Royal Rumble. It happened at the Rumble, but it's the bump of the year.
Highly likely.
But Kevin Owens is on record in the promo saying that he was suffering with the neck injury for 4 months. So that would take us back to December. So I think the Royal Rumble bump exacerbated an already existing injury. And that's what I think took. And that's why Kevin Owens hasn't been active in a wrestling match for the last two months, if you remember.
Whilst we're on that, let me point this out to you. Do you remember when Randy Orton first came back? He RKO'd Nick Aldis and he got a $50,000 fine and he paid $100,000. And Randy Orton told him, "This is for the next time. Today,
next time."
That was the next time. Nick Aldis caught an RKO.
So do you guys think, here's where I'm going with this, do you guys think we're getting Randy Orton versus Nick Aldis at WrestleMania to replace what would have been Randy Orton versus Kevin Owens?
We're getting Randy Orton versus Nick Aldis. I think we're getting Randy Orton versus Magnus.
Wow.
Wait. You really think so? You really think Nick Aldis is going to come out of retirement to have a WrestleMania match with Randy Orton, knowing full well that Randy Orton is looking to use the punt kick again?
Yes.
100%.
I would pay to see that. I would pay to see that.
100%. Yes.
I won't lie. That is a very that would be something to watch, because not very many people will remember Magnus from his TNA days. Not very many people would. It's only if you watch TNA, then you would know who Magnus is. And I remember his debut. If I'm not mistaken, he debuted in 2004, 2005 as Magnus. And his first match was but it's not against Chris Harris, the Wildcat.
No, I can't remember that far back, but you might be right.
But I remember because, and how I remember that, and you're going to laugh at this one. On TNA, when Dustin Rhodes left WWE, he went to TNA and he became Black Reign. And I will never forget this. The ring announcer will announce when they introducing him, they would introduce him, his location from the deepest, darkest corners of his mind.
Sumit, thank you so much. I've been trying to forget that for years, but thank you. Amal, thank you so much.
I can't even forget that. What you mean you're trying to forget it? I can't forget it because that was
the Do you know I watched it, and back then all of us used to watch TNA like religiously.
Yes, like because religiously. I joined TNA wrestling.
Because TNA was like incredible back then.
Exactly. monster ball matches with Abyss.
Oh yes. With the
Monsters ball. Monsters ball. You couldn't touch it.
I still remember we still had like the full DSTV at that point, and that's where we used to get TNA. And I turned the channel over, and I think it was, in fact, I'm almost 100% sure it was Abyss. And I remember Abyss, and I remember the ring. And I was like, what the hell? Why haven't I been watching this? And then I think the next match was Samoa Joe came out, and I was like, I am definitely watching this.
Yes. And I remember that match with Samoa Joe versus Kurt Angle. And I think it was Kurt Angle's second match versus Samoa Joe. And I remember that match. I watched it. It went on for like, I think 40 minutes or 45 minutes.
Yeah.
But that match was amazing. And I'm sitting there thinking to myself.
And you know what? I don't agree with the internet wrestling, the IWC often, but by the mere fact that they've changed it from Perk Angle to Peak Angle, I agree with it. TNA Angle was Peak Angle. There's no other way to put it.
Yes, and you know what? To be honest with you, and if you remember, Brock Lesnar was wrestling in Japan, I think in 2010, 2011, he was wrestling in Japan, where he was a IWGP heavyweight champion. Now, Kurt Angle went to Japan. He was already the TNA champion there. He was already TNA champion. And to me, I don't know if you all agree with me or not, but the original belt collector was not Kenny Omega. It was Kurt Angle, because Kurt Angle had about 4 or 5 belts at that point in time. And this was before
there might have been someone before Angle, but I'd be pretty comfortable to say one of the original belt collectors is Kurt Angle. I'm pretty comfortable to say that.
I don't know. I think I posted highlights of the match on the PWC group. I'm not sure when. It was some time back. I posted a video. It was of the match that Kurt Angle had with Brock Lesnar.
And the only reason I knew about the IWGP stuff was because that man over there, he's like sitting there really quietly now. I didn't even know I knew there was stuff happening in Japan, but like every time there was something that happened there, Nashville would come on. Sometimes 2 a.m, you'd have a message from him. Oh my God, you guys are missing something amazing. I am sleeping. I'm missing the inside of my eyelids right now.
You and I are in the same boat, because when I first started watching wrestling, you had on WWF, you had these Japanese wrestlers, managers, ladies, and all that used to come there. Now, when I used to hear Jerry Lawler and Jim Ross, at that time was Kevin Kelly. When I used to hear them saying that they are from Japan, like to me, it was like WWF was the main attraction at that point in time, and wrestlers from around the world used to wrestle in their hometown promotions, just to use it as a stepping stone to get to mainstream media.
No, but that's exactly what it was back then, because of all the territories and everything else.
And if you want to talk about other things that came out of Japan, we're wearing shirts from a faction that is formed in Japan. Bullet Club for life.
My chair is very low, so I have to do this.
Yeah, just cover your whole bald head with that.
All we can do is just say, too sweet, guys.
Too sweet.
To all our subscribers, please like, subscribe, or comment. Comment means a lot to us. Let us know what your thoughts are, and we'd like to be in touch with you. Thank you so much for watching. Cheers.